Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that ad-du'a mukhal ibadati. What it means is that the supplication is the essence of worship. In Urdu we translate it कि दुआ इबादत का मगज़ है. एक तो मगज़ होता है जैसे ब्रेन कहते हैं, एक वो होता है जो बोन मैरो होती है ना हड्डी के अंदर, नली जैसे कहते हैं, लिख जैसे कहते हैं, उसे मगज़ भी कहते हैं. मुख्ल इबादती, तो ये मुख्ल इबादती जो है ये बेसिकली जैसे हम एसेंस इंग्लिश में कह देते हैं या पिथ कह देते हैं वर्शिप. इन रियलिटी अरबी में जो इसके माने हैं वो ये हैं कि दिस दुआ इज़ द बोन मैरो ऑफ वर्शिप. It's a beautiful hadith. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that a dua is the bone marrow of worship. What is a bone? Bone is a very hard structure. It is something that is meant to give strength. It is meant to give stability. It is meant to define. Our definition is because of our skeleton, right? If there's any deformity of the bone, the entire body gets deformed. If there's even your dental structure, hands, or anything, so bones are a sign of strength. Bones are a sign of definition, of defining structure, of giving shape. So a moment his iman, his outlook is defined by the iman that he has, right? Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that if you want to be an ibad, your iman is the outlook that you have strong. However, your dua is that bone marrow which brings that humility, that ajazi, that humbleness in you, that gives that strength to your bone, your iman. Mukhul ibadati. It is the essence of your worship. It is the pith of your worship. ये नली है आपकी इबादत की. यानी कि दुआ मांगोगे तो जो बाहर का एक्सटीरियर है वो स्ट्रॉन्ग रहेगा. दुआ मांगोगे तो जो एक डिफाइंड स्ट्रक्चर है वो अपनी एसेंस पे रहेगा, अपनी जगह पे रहेगा. दुआ नहीं मांगोगे तो डिफॉर्मिटी पैदा हो जाएगी. दुआ नहीं मांगोगे तो एबनॉर्मलिटी आ जाएगी. Dua is the core. Dua is the structure. Dua is what defines you. Dua is what makes you what you are. Dua is the essence. Dua is the sign of humility to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of humbleness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it mandatory for us to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. एक हमारी हकीकत जो है वो इस तरह की है कि we are like that little child who is trying to walk and we take one step, we take two steps when we don't know how to really walk. But we think that, if you all have, mashallah, kids that have grown up now, or maybe you still have a toddler who is just starting to walk, you realize that that toddler doesn't think in his mind that he can't walk. He is determined, or she is determined that she can walk, he can walk. And he is बड़े जोश से वो चल रहा होता है. But you looking at it, knows कि बेचारा यहाँ से यहाँ नहीं जा सकेगा, A से B नहीं जा सकेगा, right? हमारी हालत वैसे ही होती है. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is waiting कि मेरा बंदा ये realize करे कि उसकी ताकत इतनी सी है. He is really dependent upon me to get things done. Allah is waiting for us to turn towards Him, for Him to give to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in fact commanded so sternly that we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that if we don't ask Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has related that with kibr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has related that with being arrogant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ, right? وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Allah has proclaimed, call upon me and I will respond to you. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making a firm promise that you call upon me and I will respond to you. And there's no restriction that has been put in over here that you have to be a believer, you have to be a pious person, you have to be a very staunch worshipper. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is generally saying that call upon me and I will respond to you. قَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the same ayah, in the very same flow of things, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. That surely those who are too proud to worship me will enter hellfire fully humbled. What does that mean? First, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, call upon me, astajib lakum. I will surely answer your call. Maise dua mango, main tumhari dua ko sununga, uska jawab dunga. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that those who are too proud to worship me. First sentence was that call upon me. Now suddenly he's saying those who are too proud to worship me. That means basically that when we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is a worship, just as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said, that ad-du'a mukhal ibadati. And at the same time, that is us showing humbleness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is us being an ibad. What does it mean to be an ibad? An ibad comes from being abd, right? Abd kise kehte? Servant, ghulam, slave, right? And in our understanding of this term of abd ghulam, वो होता है जिसकी अपनी कोई हैसियत नहीं होती, who has no rights of his own. He is completely, fully dependent upon his master for everything. In the time when slavery was common, A ghulam or a slave was a person who would eat what the master would give, he would wear what the master will give him to wear, he will sleep and the master will allow him to sleep. There was no desire, no wish, no expectation on his part that I will be able to do anything of my own will. He was fully dependent upon his master for whatever he had to do. Ibad is the same. We are ibad, but the only difference is that ibad is a very high status in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibad is a word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses just to give you that how high a significance that this word is that who is the best of the creations in the humans? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And the best gift that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam received in this dunya was what? Mi'raj, right? The best of the gift that he received was Mi'raj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya allowed him to go all the way up to the heavens and have a chance to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There can be no greater a reward than that, right? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing that particular event, now this is the most honorable person given the most or the highest reward that he could have received. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing that event and he says, Subhanallazi asra bi abdihi. Asra bi abdihi laylam min al-masjid al-harami ila al-masjid al-aqsa. What is he using for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What word? Abd. So this abd, which becomes ibadi as well, is a title which is of highest honor, right? So when we become an abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we become an abd who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with, right? That has one quality which is humility, that is humbleness, that is believing that I am fully dependent upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I am dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I cannot have any of my needs fulfilled without Allah. And when we do not do so, that is arrogance, that is showing arrogance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is touching upon over here when he says, Innal lazina yastakbiruna an ibadati. That those who have shown arrogance, those who are too proud an ibadati, to worship me, meaning that they are lacking what? They are lacking the ability, they think that I do not need to ask Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Innal lazina yastakbiruna an ibadati sayadkhuluna. Surely, soon I shall enter them Jahannam dakhirin. Soon they will enter a place which is humbling for them.